Thought we played really hard. Thought our coaches did a good job getting our guys in position to make plays. Thought we tackled well. Thought that was our best tackling game by far. And I think if you play hard and you tackle well, you give yourself a chance to be in ball games. Thought our third down execution was really good. Obviously the one big fourth down stop, was huge for us. If we'd have gotten one more of those, which I put both of those on me, that they converted on, then I think it's a different game. But thought our kids played really hard and tackled well and gave ourselves a chance.
Well, it's the first game against a fourth string of 9 more power conference opponents. What was it kind of like to see the defense be able to physically match up to a power conference?
Yeah, I thought our D line and linebackers really dominated the line of scrimmage. I thought that was one thing that they showed up on film. The line of scrimmage didn't move the whole night. So I thought that was, a big positive. Thought we played well on the outside. They only tested us deep 4 times, but we got beat on one, but recovered and made a play. But so I thought that was big for us. So all in all, we've talked to these guys about, we have a lot of confidence that we can play with anybody that we play. But we'll have to continue to be humble with our approach, getting better every single practice, and make sure we're doing that. Understanding it's a process week to week, and how we prepare gives us a chance to hopefully go out and perform at a high level.
What are your early impressions of TCU?
Really talented on the skill positions. I think receiver-wise, between they have multiple guys. Between obviously we've seen 3 and 7 the last couple of years, but they're deep at receiver. Cam Cook, 4, is a good back, really explosive. See multiple tight ends in the game as well, whether it's 11 or 12 personnel. I think the quarterback's playing at a really, really high level. You go back and watch from his progression last year to this year. Really accurate with the football, distributes the ball well, not a lot of turnovers, takes care of the ball, runs well enough to get out of, be able to run the quarterback some, but also be able to get out of stuff. So, it's definitely the best offense we've seen this season. I don't think that's close. So it'll be, a big time challenge for us, as we know, every year. But they're a really solid operation on offense right now.
Sure. Go ahead.
Kobe Wilson talked yesterday a little bit about how this is kind of a year where we're seeing, SMU football being defined as a defensive program, and just the strides that this defense has taken. How do you evaluate it? Do you see SMU as a defensive kind of team, and what has it been like to just see what your defense has done through these first 2 games?
No, I see us, as a football team, and I think that there's games where our offense has, played well, to pull us through over the course of, the 3 years we've been here together, and it's been on the flip side, and that's what a good football program is. I think ultimately to play winning football, we got to play great in all 3 phases and be disciplined, but I think it's never as good as you think, and usually never as bad. And so I think as soon as we start to listen to the praise and the applaud that you guys have arrived, that's usually when you get humbled. When we're playing a good offense like this next week, we better not start listening to what other people are telling us, because real quick we'll be in here and you guys will be asking me why we gave up 40+ points in the game. So I think staying humble, focusing on the process, and our guys working just one day at a time to get better as a group is the main focus that we have right now.
How important is it when you're playing defense to have an offense that is able to control the clock a little bit at key times and let your guys rest up? I think when Kevin got the offense moving a little bit the other night, that was maybe a reason why your guys were fresh and able to play as well as they did.
I mean, obviously, that always helps, depth-wise to, when they're playing at that clip and being able to move the ball and everything. So, but playing, like you said, playing complementary football. I mean, I thought our guys did. We had the one miscue on a real short field, where it's an unfortunate punt, that hit us, and our guys been able to respond in those situations is important too, because football is a game of momentum, a game of swings. It's going to happen. So we expect that our guys are resilient enough that if we got to take the field on a short field, like, we got to rise up and make a play. That's part of football. And obviously, it's awesome when our offense goes on 12-play drives and eats up tons of clock for us too. So, but it's just it's focusing on one play at a time. It's being ready when the moment is called on us, and so I'm excited about what where we're at right now, and hopefully we'll continue to progress moving forward.
What have you seen from the group the last couple of weeks, forcing 3 turnovers in each of the last 2 games?
Yeah, I just I think really one, they've embraced the culture that our coaching staff has set, and you see the buy-in, because I think it's really easy from an outside perspective to sit and say, well, you got a lot of veteran guys. We got a lot of new guys too, and so but on the flip side of that, you don't really know where your team is at until you go through some adversity, right? So we're obviously, ideally, you come off a tough loss like that. We'd rather play a game this Saturday, and than having that sit and fester for 14, 15 days. But I also think adversity defines our character and the resiliency of this group, and the integrity of this group, and so I think it's an awesome learning opportunity for us as a coaching staff, to grow and develop these guys and teach them that life's not easy, that bumps are going to happen, and how you respond is really what matters. And that doesn't guarantee that we're going to have success next week. That doesn't guarantee that we're going to win this game next week. But are you willing to put forth the effort, put forth the focus week in, week out, knowing that it's going to hurt more the more you put into it if the outcome doesn't come out your way. And so I think we think as a staff, and this day and age, 2024, that's really important job of us as coaches to be able to help mature these young men for down the road, not just for the game of football, but what this game can teach us about life. So
just kind of with that, how have you approached this first of your 3 bye weeks?
Well, I think our guys were fresh. We walked through yesterday and then had a practice today. Wasn't particularly our best practice on defense, so we'll look at the tape and challenge our guys to respond, because we're going to have to practice better moving forward. But obviously, self-scout's big. Working on the things that we've given up, showing them things that we might not even tell them are things that we gave up the previous 3 games, because generally offenses see something, a lot of times they copy the same thing. So whether it's working the toss action like we got from the Nevada game, and then we saw in the BYU game where they ran the tight ends vertical off of that. So like getting those things cleaned up, just to try to show them some plays that, okay, these are the things we gave up. Here's how maybe they're going to look at attacking you, looking at self-scout, just based on what we've called, some of those type of things, and then obviously introducing the opponent that we play next.
Is there anything that really jumps out at you so far through 3 weeks that really concerns you about your group? I mean, they've been playing well, but I know you can't be satisfied.
I think the biggest thing, week 1 tackling was I thought we tackled way better last year's week 1 opener to this season. But then I felt good coming off this game. But obviously, probably my biggest concern going into the next week will be tackling coming off of a bye week, and making sure that we're sharp and we're crisp. And now all of a sudden you've got 2 weeks off before you've tackled somebody. So like I said, TCU's got great space players, and they're going to make us play the game in space and get guys down in space. So I think that would just be a concern coming off a bye week more than anything, probably moving forward.
What does Kevin Jennings present as far as problems for defenses to prepare for? I know it's not always full speed for y'all, but
yeah. Well, I think that anytime you have a quarterback that can run, the mobility factor just limits what you feel comfortable calling in those situations. All of a sudden, if you look at Nevada for us, if you look at Boston College, like, you got an eraser back there that, hey, this might be great on paper, but if he gets out of it, we're in trouble. It poses that threat. So excited for him for his opportunity, and we have all the confidence in those guys, and so we'll just keep focusing on us and making sure that we're doing our job to play the defense that gives him a chance to do what he needs to do.
When you don't have a game this week, and you kind of mentioned, you wish you could have something to kind of, I guess, watch the success out of that last game. Is there anything in particular as a coaching staff do to make sure players aren't focusing on that they're only focused on, what's ahead, even if it's 2 weeks away?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of what we talk to our guys about, is just learning how to overcome adversity and learning how to take ownership. Very easy to you know, in life, I think most of us, it's human nature to try to find a way to always, you know, pass the buck and point the blame to somebody else. But there was plenty of things that, you know, from a coaching staff, from the things that I called standpoint, the last 3rd and long, I was sick to my stomach as soon as we called it. Knew I shouldn't have called it. They ran a screen. They hadn't dropped back on 3rd and long the whole game. And, you know, we've been sitting trying to spy them, trying to drop 8 them, do some of those things. And so I think the biggest thing, challenge the guys, is self-reflection of what do you have to do better, you know. And if we all look inward, I think then we have a chance to have a good football team moving forward. And, you know, we have to continue to improve on defense because, yeah, I think every offense we play, in my opinion, will be better than what we've seen from here on out. So starting with next week.
Cornerbacks are maybe one of the bigger, if not the biggest question mark of the defense, just losing both starters from last year. What have you seen from that unit through 3 games?
Yeah, I think we've played at a high level. You know, I think, you know, overall, you know, you've got 4 guys, 5 at times that have played really well. I think just playing discipline, one play focus, play in and play out is going to be important for us moving forward. You know, I think we've tackled pretty good out there. I think we've played the ball down the field really well. You know, just consistency with our eyes in coverage, some of those things that we know that people will attack us, whether it be double moves. But overall, I think, you know, those guys have really heard that challenge, that they were the weak link, supposedly from the media, and definitely think that they've proven everybody wrong in that so far through 3 games.
Anything else, guys?
No.